Little Fox.
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 1, Christmas Morning. On Christmas morning, Rabbit looked around the room. He was inside a stocking, over a fireplace. Across the room stood a pretty tree.
Wow!
Rabbit thought.
Look at those lights!
He sniffed the air. Everything was so exciting and new here. Suddenly, he heard footsteps. A boy ran down the stairs.
Let's open presents!
He cried. His parents were behind him.
Henry,
Mom said.
why don't you look in your stocking first?
Henry ran to the fireplace. He grabbed the Velveteen Rabbit from the stocking.
Look!
He cried.
A rabbit! He's so soft and fluffy!
Henry and Rabbit played all morning long. Rabbit was amazed by more new sights and sounds. He felt warm as Henry held him tightly.
This is so much fun!
Rabbit thought.
I want to play with Henry every day!
After dinner, Henry and Rabbit played some more. Then Dad smiled at Henry.
It's almost bedtime.
He said. Henry scooped up Rabbit in his arms again. He brought Rabbit upstairs to a playroom. Henry set Rabbit on his shelf.
Sleep tight, Rabbit. We will play again tomorrow.
Rabbit looked around as Henry left. He blinked in surprise. Other toys were staring at him. The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 3, Dirty Paws. The next day, Henry took Rabbit all over the house. He rode Rabbit on car. He marched Rabbit with Soldier. He stomped Rabbit through a dinosaur jungle. The dinosaurs roared like angry beasts.
This is fun!
Rabbit thought. Rabbit loved exploring the house. He loved sliding down the stairs. He loved watching birds out the window. He especially loved playing with Henry. That night, Henry put all the toys away. Rabbit sat on a shelf.
Oh no!
Rabbit said.
My nose and paws are dirty! And my tail lost some of its fluff!
I knew you were weak.
Robot said. Horse rolled his eyes.
Don't listen to him, Rabbit. Those changes are normal. It's part of becoming real.
Real?
Rabbit said.
What's that?
Becoming real is wonderful.
Horse said.
It's when a toy comes alive. We are alive in a child's mind forever.
That does sound wonderful!
Rabbit said.
I want to become real!
Horse smiled.
Maybe you will one day.
Robot laughed.
You'll never be real, Rabbit. You can't do any cool stuff like I can.
Robot flashed his lights. He shot out his claw. Rabbit frowned.
I'll show you, Robot!
He thought.
I'll show everyone! One day, I'll be real!
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 2, The Other Toys. The playroom was filled with toys. Rabbit saw a soldier and dinosaurs. There were action figures and stuffed animals.
Hello?
Rabbit said nervously. A triceratops waved.
Hello?
A red remote control car spun her wheels. Vroom! She said in a friendly voice. But a robot glared at Rabbit. He was tall and shiny, with angry metal eyebrows.
A newbie.
He snapped.
I don't like newbies.
Rabbit gulped and tried to smile.
Well, I'm happy to meet all of you. And I really like playing with Henry.
Robot's lights flashed.
You won't last long around here, Rabbit. You're not made of strong stuff like me.
He laughed.
You don't even have legs.
Rabbit's ears drooped. Robot was right. Rabbit's body was just a cloth sack. He had no legs and no feet.
Be nice, Robot.
Someone said. It was a horse. Horse's stuffing was lumpy. His coat was shabby and worn.
You're welcome here, Rabbit.
Horse said.
I'm sure you'll make Henry happy.
Thank you.
Rabbit said. Horse's kind voice made Rabbit feel better. Horse smiled.
Soft toys like us last the longest.
He whispered. Robot snapped his claw.
Ah!
He said.
We'll see about that.
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 4, The Crash. Rabbit watched Henry drive car.
Vroom, vroom.
Henry said.
Vroom, vroom.
Car said. Rabbit loved watching cars zoom around. But he wanted to play with Henry too. He waited and waited.
My turn will come soon.
Rabbit thought. Car drove backward and forward. She shot under a chair. She went around a tower made of blocks. Henry grinned.
This car is so fast.
Then Crash! Car slammed hard into the tower. Wooden blocks tumbled down onto car.
Oh no!
Henry cried. Dad ran into the playroom.
What happened? Are you okay?
I'm okay,
Henry said.
but my car isn't.
Car's front bumper had a crack. The antenna was bent.
Let's see if we can fix it.
Dad said. Rabbit watched while Dad taped the bumper. Dad spent a long time working. At last, Henry picked up the control again. The car made a sound, but didn't move. Henry started to cry. Dad hugged him.
Sorry, Henry. We tried to fix it, but it's broken.
Dad took car away.
Uh-oh!
Rabbit thought, looking down. Rabbit's coat looked a little shabby. Some threads were loose. Rabbit gulped.
One day Dad might take me away too!
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 5, Cousin Vicky. It was a few days later. Soldier stood at his post near the window.
Alert! Alert! Vicky is here!
Oh no!
Several toys gasped and hid. Rabbit sat on a shelf.
Who's Vicky?
Henry's cousin.
Horse said. He looked worried.
Just wait, Rabbit.
Robot grinned.
She's going to rip you to pieces.
Rabbit heard footsteps. Then a girl with pigtails came in. She was holding a red drone.
She doesn't look so bad.
Rabbit thought. Vicky suddenly stopped in front of Rabbit.
Perfect!
She cried. Vicky grabbed Rabbit tightly.
Ouch!
He thought. Vicky plopped a drone on the floor. She tied Rabbit to the top of it with string. The motor whirred underneath Rabbit.
What's happening?
Rabbit thought.
I don't want to get hurt!
Whoosh! The drone shot up into the air.
Wow!
Boom! It smashed into the ceiling. Rabbit fell off and went tumbling down. Rip! His right shoulder tore open. Stuffing spilled out.
Ugh!
Rabbit thought.
I hurt all over!
Henry ran into the room.
Vicky!
He shouted.
What did you do to Rabbit?
Robot gave a mean laugh.
I told you, Rabbit.
He whispered.
It's over for you.
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 6, A Needle and Thread. Henry took Rabbit into the kitchen.
Mom, can you fix my rabbit?
Mom said.
That's a tricky repair.
Henry frowned.
Vicky did it.
Mom sighed.
I'll see what I can do.
What if Mom can't fix me?
Rabbit thought.
She'll take me away like Car.
Mom got some thread and a needle.
That looks sharp.
Rabbit thought.
I can't watch.
Henry ran out of the room. Rabbit held his breath.
Ouch! Ouch! Ouch!
He thought. The needle hurt at first. But Mom was very gentle.
This isn't so bad.
Rabbit thought. Mom sewed Rabbit's shoulder.
Henry sure loves you.
Mom said softly. Rabbit felt a warm glow inside. Later, Mom put Rabbit back in the playroom.
Guess what, Horse?
Rabbit cried.
Mom said Henry loves me.
Horse smiled.
That's wonderful.
Maybe I'll be real soon.
Rabbit said.
What a joke.
Robot said.
You'll never be real. You're just like the rest of us.
Rabbit's whiskers twitched. Robot made him so angry sometimes. But he didn't want to fight.
Be nice, Robot.
Horse said.
Anything could happen.
Alert!
Soldier cried suddenly.
Cousin Vicky is leaving!
Yay!
All the toys cheered.
What a day.
Rabbit thought.
It was scary, but happy too.
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 7, Dreaming. One night, Rabbit fell asleep and started to dream. Sparkling dust filled the air.
This must be fairy dust.
He thought. Horse often told Rabbit stories about fairies. Rabbit looked down. He had legs and feet. He jumped out the playroom window. Beautiful white flowers danced in the grass. Rabbit floated up to the clouds. He hopped as high as he could. He hopped to one star and another. Then he hopped all the way to the moon. Rabbit was smiling when he woke up.
What a cool dream.
He thought.
I have to tell someone.
Rabbit looked around. Only one other toy was awake. Robot. Rabbit whispered.
I had an amazing dream.
So?
Robot said.
I had legs and feet.
Rabbit said.
I hopped to the stars and the moon.
Robot clicked.
That's ridiculous.
Rabbit's whiskers twitched.
Robot, can't you try to be nice? Henry is nice to all of us. And I'm nice to everyone, too.
Robot's lights flashed.
Fine. Sorry.
Robot said.
We know Henry loves you the most. Not all of us can be soft and cuddly.
Rabbit blinked as Robot spun away.
Robot sounded sad.
Rabbit thought.
Maybe he wants Henry to hold and hug him, too.
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 8, Fairy Dust. At night, Rabbit usually slept in the playroom. But one night, Henry left Rabbit in his room. Henry tossed and turned in bed. He coughed loudly. Mom came in and felt Henry's forehead.
You have a fever.
She said. She gave Henry medicine and stroked his back.
You need to sleep.
Mom saw Rabbit and brought him over.
Here, Henry.
Mom said.
Rabbit will help you sleep. Try and rest, okay?
Henry said. He held Rabbit tightly. Rabbit felt his stuffing squish. Henry's body felt hot and wet. He coughed and coughed. He jerked with each cough.
I'm so uncomfortable.
Rabbit thought, but he loved Henry. He lay still until Henry fell asleep. Rabbit saw the moon shining through the window. Dust sparkled in the light.
Fairy dust.
Rabbit thought happily. It looked just like his dream. Rabbit stared at the fairy dust.
Maybe I'll get some. Maybe it will make Henry feel better.
Rabbit reached out his paw. Moonlight and dust gathered there. Rabbit gently rubbed his paw on Henry's arms. He rubbed Henry's forehead too. Rabbit stayed up all night long, watching Henry.
Will the magic dust work?
He thought.
Will it make Henry better?
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 9, The Washing Machine. The next morning, Mom came back. She felt Henry's forehead.
Your fever is gone.
Mom said.
The fairy dust worked.
Rabbit thought. Mom suddenly picked up Rabbit. She often picked him up. So at first, he wasn't worried. But then Mom looked closely at Rabbit. Mom frowned.
Rabbit's in bad shape. He'll probably fall apart in the washing machine. We might need to get rid of him.
Rabbit thought. Henry shot up.
No! You can't get rid of Rabbit!
Okay.
Mom sighed.
I'll try to give him a wash.
Phew!
Rabbit thought. Mom tossed Rabbit inside the washing machine. The door closed and then... whoosh! Rabbit went rolling. He tumbled and twisted around. Water and soap poured over him. The machine spun round and round. Finally, it stopped. But then Mom put him in the dryer. Rabbit tumbled and twisted some more. Hot air dried his body. At last, it was over. Mom pulled Rabbit out. Rabbit smelled lovely and clean. But Rabbit looked down. His coat was thin and bare. His stuffing felt lumpy.
I'm safe for now.
Rabbit thought.
But Robot was right. I'm not made of strong stuff. I hope I can last.
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 10, On the Road.
Alert!
Soldier cried one day.
There's a strange truck parked outside! It's as big as a small house!
That's called an RV.
Horse said.
I bet the family is going on a trip.
A trip?
Rabbit thought.
What's that?
All morning the family rushed around. Dad came into the playroom smiling. He was holding a suitcase.
Who's ready for the best road trip ever?
I am!
Henry jumped up. Then Dad and Henry left the playroom.
Wait!
Henry cried from the stairs. Henry ran back into the playroom.
I almost forgot you, Rabbit.
He said. Robot gave Rabbit a mean look. But Rabbit was happy.
Hooray!
He thought.
I'm going with Henry!
The family and Rabbit got into the RV. Mom started the engine. Then they drove and drove and drove. Rabbit loved watching the trees go by. Suddenly, Rabbit spotted something alongside the road.
Wait a minute.
He thought.
Was that a rabbit?
Were there rabbits who lived outside? Rabbit couldn't believe it. As Mom kept driving, Henry fell asleep. But Rabbit stayed awake with so many questions. What were the outside rabbits like? Did they have a kid to play with too? Would he meet any real rabbits on this trip? The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 11, In the Mountains. In the afternoon, the RV stopped.
Welcome to the mountains.
Dad said. All around were pine trees. Ahead was a clear blue lake.
Whoa!
Henry said. Rabbit was amazed. He looked around and saw squirrels.
Maybe I'll see real rabbits too!
He thought.
Can we go swimming now?
Henry asked.
Sure.
Mom said. The family got towels. Then everyone went to the lake. Henry set Rabbit on the ground. Henry ran to the water and splashed in. Rabbit looked around while the family swam.
These mountains are wonderful!
Rabbit thought.
They make me want to run fast! But...
He looked down and sighed.
I need legs to run.
The breeze felt cool and gentle. Rabbit closed his eyes. When he opened them again, he gasped. Several creatures were staring at him. The creatures had pink noses and long ears. Rabbit's chest thumped with excitement.
Real rabbits!
He said.
Hello!
The rabbits hopped around him.
Look at their strong feet!
Rabbit thought.
Come play with us!
A brown rabbit said.
Yes! Jump high like me!
A white rabbit said.
He can't.
A spotted rabbit said.
He doesn't have legs. He's not a real rabbit.
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 12, More Rabbits. The rabbits were all staring at Rabbit.
Where are your legs and feet?
The white rabbit asked. Rabbit sighed.
I don't have legs or feet.
The brown rabbit frowned.
But you're a rabbit, right?
He has a nose like a rabbit.
The spotted one said.
And rabbit ears.
Rabbit nodded.
I'm a rabbit, but I can't jump.
The rabbit still looked confused.
I know,
The spotted one said.
we'll show you how to jump. Watch us.
The rabbits jumped all around. Rabbit watched and then tried to jump. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move. Rabbit's ears drooped.
I give up.
The brown rabbit sighed.
Oh, too bad. If you want to try again, look for us.
We live near the field.
The white one said.
Thanks.
Rabbit said. He watched the rabbits hop away.
They look so free.
Rabbit thought.
Will I ever hop and jump like them?
A few days passed. One morning, Henry put Rabbit on a tree stump.
It's our last day here,
Henry said sadly.
we're going home. Home!
Rabbit thought happily. He missed his friends from the playroom. But then he remembered the outside rabbits. His ears drooped.
I'll never see them again.
He thought. The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 13, Left Behind. Henry left Rabbit outside while he helped his parents. The family was cleaning and packing up the RV. At last, they were finished.
Time to go home.
Dad said. Rabbit waited for Henry to come outside and get him. But Henry stayed on the RV. Then Dad started the loud engine. Rumble, rumble!
Wait!
Rabbit cried. He watched in horror as the family drove away.
Henry will remember me.
Rabbit thought.
Any minute now they'll turn around.
But the RV kept moving away from him. Soon, Rabbit couldn't see it anymore.
This is terrible!
He thought.
What will happen to me?
The sun felt hot. In the woods, branches snapped. A hawk swooped low. Every sound and shadow was spooky to Rabbit.
I'll never see Henry again.
Rabbit thought.
I'll sit here by myself forever.
Rumble, rumble. Rabbit looked up. It was the RV. Henry jumped out and ran to Rabbit.
I'm so sorry, Rabbit.
He said, crying. Dad laughed.
Oh, all this fuss for a toy?
Rabbit is not a toy,
Henry said.
he's real. He'll be my real friend forever.
Rabbit felt a warm glow inside.
Henry said I was real.
He thought.
Wait until I tell Horse and the others.
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 14, Just a Toy. At home, Rabbit was excited.
Henry said I'm real.
He told everyone. Horse and the dinosaurs cheered. But Robot sneered.
Oh, yeah?
Robot said.
Then where are your feet and legs?
Rabbit frowned.
Can't you ever be nice, Robot?
Rabbit tried to stay happy, but he couldn't forget what Robot said.
He's right.
Rabbit thought. Rabbit had no feet or legs. So how could he be real?
I am real.
He told himself firmly.
And someday I will hop and jump.
Rabbit kept practicing. He used all his strength. But all he could do was flip over. One day, Robot was watching Rabbit. Robot said,
See? You're only a toy.
Rabbit didn't say anything. He just looked away. That night, he talked to Horse.
Henry said I'm real.
Rabbit said.
But why can't I move?
Horse smiled.
You don't have to move. You're already real to Henry. You'll live forever in his mind.
Rabbit thought about Horse's words. Horse was wise. But Rabbit wanted to be real like the outside rabbits. He wanted to hop and jump and play outside. Finally, Rabbit shrugged.
I'm real to Henry,
He thought.
so I'll just try to be the best friend ever.
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 15, Waiting for Henry. Weeks went by. Henry often played with Rabbit. Rabbit tried to be a good friend. Then in the fall, something changed. Henry left the house every day with a backpack. He was gone for hours and hours. One day, Rabbit sat on the chair. Soldier stood near the open window.
What's happening outside?
Rabbit asked.
There are lots of leaves on the ground.
Soldier said.
Soon the family will have to rake them.
Is Henry coming back yet?
Rabbit asked.
No, not yet.
Soldier said. Rabbit waited a little longer.
How about now?
Still no.
Soldier said.
Stop asking, Rabbit.
Robot snapped.
Henry won't be back for hours.
Suddenly, Rabbit had an idea.
I'll try to move to the window.
He thought.
Then I can watch for Henry myself.
Rabbit began trying to move. He twisted this way and that. He used all his strength. Robot was watching Rabbit.
What are you doing?
He asked.
I'm trying to move to the window.
Rabbit said.
I want to watch for Henry myself.
Oh,
Robot said.
well, good luck, I guess.
Thanks.
Rabbit kept moving along slowly. He flopped onto the sill. Finally, Rabbit stood up. But then he tripped. Rabbit tumbled out the window. The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 16, The Blowing Machine. Rabbit fell into a bush. His ears got caught, and he tried to wiggle free. But he was stuck. Hours went by. Rabbit was still trapped in the bush.
Henry will come home soon.
He thought.
He'll find me here.
At last, Henry was home.
I'm right here, Henry.
Rabbit called.
Please find me.
but Henry went right past Rabbit. Rabbit sighed as Henry ran inside the house.
Maybe he'll come out again later.
He thought. By now, the afternoon air was chilly. Leaves swirled around the bush. Rabbit shivered.
Where's Henry?
He thought. Just then the whole family came into the yard. They were holding rakes and other things.
I'll rake up all these leaves,
Henry yelled.
Let's make a big pile.
Everyone started to rake up leaves.
I'm over here, Henry!
Rabbit yelled.
I'm stuck in this bush!
Henry looked up. Roar, roar, roar! Suddenly, a loud blowing machine started up. Dad came closer, blowing away leaves. The blowing machine sent leaves flying everywhere.
Oh no!
Rabbit thought as the bush shook hard. Then, whoosh! Rabbit flew out of the bush. He tumbled into a pile of leaves. More leaves fell on top of him.
Help!
Rabbit cried. But no one heard him. The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 17, A White Flower. Henry was making a pile of leaves. He laughed as he jumped onto the pile. For a moment, Rabbit forgot his worries. He was happy to hear Henry laughing.
Henry will find me soon.
Rabbit thought.
He has to.
Suddenly, Dad came over with a big bag. Then Mom came with a rake.
I'm here!
Rabbit cried.
Under the leaves!
The rake shot into the pile. It scooped leaves into the bag. It scooped Rabbit, too. Mom carried the bag to the curb.
The garbage truck will pick this up tomorrow,
she said. Rabbit peeked through a hole. The sun was setting as everyone went inside. That night, Rabbit saw Henry's shadow in the playroom. Henry was walking back and forth.
Is he looking for me?
Rabbit thought.
I'm here, Henry! It's cold!
He called. Soon the house went dark. Rabbit shivered.
Tomorrow the garbage truck will carry me away.
He thought.
I'll never see Henry again.
A tear fell from Rabbit's eye. It dropped into the grass. The wet spot began to glow. Like magic, a flower sprouted. The white flower glowed in the moonlight. It began to dance.
What's happening?
Rabbit thought. Slowly, the flower's petals opened. Inside was a fairy. The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 18, The Fairy. Rabbit blinked in surprise.
Hello, Rabbit.
The fairy said.
Hello.
Rabbit said. She was a beautiful fairy. She had short hair and long wings. The fairy waved her wand. Rabbit floated out of the bag. He landed gently on the grass.
You're a good friend to Henry,
The fairy said.
Because of that, you will become a real rabbit.
Rabbit gasped and looked down at his sack body.
Real? Like the outside rabbits?
He said.
Is that possible?
The fairy laughed.
Yes, real, like those rabbits. Now, close your eyes. I will sing you a lullaby.
But Rabbit was much too excited to sleep.
Will it hurt?
He asked.
I'll need legs and feet like the real rabbits. And what about Henry? He'll miss me.
Shh,
The fairy said.
all will be well. Now, close your eyes and let the magic come.
Rabbit closed his eyes. He felt fairy dust swirl around him.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
The fairy sang a lullaby. Rabbit thought of the blue lake and green mountains. He felt the fairy kiss his nose. Then he drifted off to sleep. When Rabbit woke up, he smelled pine trees.
He's awake!
A voice said. Slowly, Rabbit opened his eyes. The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 19, Back to the Mountains. The real rabbits surrounded Rabbit. He shook his head.
What are you doing here?
He asked. The rabbits laughed.
What are you doing here?
The white rabbit said. Rabbit looked around and saw the mountains. He saw lots of pine trees. And ahead was the lake.
I think a fairy brought me here.
Rabbit said.
A fairy?
The brown rabbit said. Well, something magical happened, the spotted one said. You have legs and feet now.
So you can play with us.
The white rabbit said.
What?
Rabbit looked down. The real rabbits were right. He had real feet and long legs. Rabbit jumped and hopped with his new feet.
I'm a real rabbit.
He said.
I'm real.
All the rabbits jumped and cheered. They chased each other across the field. They played together until the sun went down.
Where will we sleep?
Rabbit asked.
Follow us.
The spotted rabbit said. Rabbit followed the others to a warm, cozy den. Everyone curled up, ready for bed.
What a wonderful day.
Rabbit thought.
Except for one thing. I miss Henry. I hope he's okay.
Rabbit thought. Rabbit fell asleep, still thinking of his friend.
I wonder if Henry misses me.
The Velveteen Rabbit, Episode 20, Goodbye. Months passed. Rabbit was happy in his new home. He was clever at finding the sweetest grass. He learned how to hide from hawks. On rainy days, the rabbit stayed inside. That's when Rabbit thought about Henry and the toys.
I wonder how everyone is doing.
Rabbit thought. Sometimes he even missed Robot. One day, the rabbits heard a sound. It's the big metal monster again, the spotted rabbit said.
It's called an RV.
Rabbit said wisely.
It's fun to ride in an RV.
The rabbits approached the RV. Some people stepped out. Rabbit hopped with joy.
It's Henry and his parents!
Henry saw a rabbit hopping nearby.
Hey, Mom and Dad!
He said.
Look!
Henry pointed to the rabbit.
It looks just like my old Velveteen Rabbit!
Mom nodded.
It does. I wonder what happened to Rabbit.
Me too,
Henry said. Henry and Rabbit stared at each other for a while. Rabbit hopped closer. Henry reached down to pet him.
Rabbit was a good friend.
Henry said softly.
I'll never forget him.
Then Henry got up.
Goodbye, Rabbit.
Rabbit watched Henry and his parents walk away. He thought of all their happy times together.
Thank you, Henry.
He thought.
Your love made me real.